Hey guys, so we reached the point where we've finished the MVP or minimum viable product of the NestJS conduit blog. Um, I'm a little unhappy with how quick and dirty I went with it, so I'm gonna go over a couple of things that you can do to refactor this code base. I'm not gonna do everything on screen just because it would just be very repetitive and we'll be here for quite a while. So the first thing that I want to do is that you'll notice that we added an envelope to all of the body validation. I didn't realize it, but the body decorator, you could pass in a string. And for such as this one will be user, and it'll grab the specific property off of the request body. So here, you could then get rid of this, and pass in just the credentials like that, and we'll still get the validation. And of course, you would do that to basically every controller, like so. And I've already done this for all the other controllers. So if we go look at the git diff, if I just no, this is a bad example, but we'll go to something like the article controller, which has a lot of this, and I'm gonna hide that. And it would be things like here, the validation pipe for the article is now just replaced by just the data. A side note, I also updated the import path just for, it's a stylistic choice, but it's influences from my days with Angular. There's always a space between outer modules and internal modules and stuff like that. The next thing is that we've done a little bit of mixing and matching with the way we do envelopes. So the response from some controllers is just the raw thing, and we include the wrapper inside the service, like here. The wrapper is over here. Whereas in other places like the article controller, the wrapper is actually in the controller, like so, instead of the service. So I think a good idea would be to unify that. So for example, in the auth user, I would change both of these to be async methods and change this to const user equals to await return user, like that. Await return user, and then wrap it like so. This has to be async. And then unifying all the services to only return the data and not the envelope itself. And like so. And then it would also be here. And also update user will be the same. Another thing that you can do that would actually help this process a lot is to add the return types for everything. So this will be response of user, and then we will have to change that up. I actually like that. So what I'm going to do is create a new file under models. So touch source models, and then I'm going to call it response models. Response.model.ts. And then in here, let's make a TypeScript type for that. So let's go with export interface response object, and it's gonna take it's actually gonna take two. I'm gonna do yeah, key extends string s, and it's gonna have the key here, which is key of key. This probably has to be uppercase. Oops. And that'll be of type T. Okay, cute. One second, I have to actually look up how this is formatted. Okay, so I checked the TypeScript advanced types here, and it's gonna look a little bit like this. So what you need to change here is this is not an interface, it's gonna be a type, because we can't infer the key that way. So now this will change to P in K. All of these are generic, so that's something to keep in note. But P is just something that we're not giving. K is going to be the property name, and then T is going to be the type. So in here, it'll look, the return type will look like this. So this is async method. So we're going to do promise, and then the type inside is going to be response object that we created, and then that takes in two parameters, or two type parameters: the name, which is going to be user, and then the inner thing, which is going to be the object that it is. We're going to have to make another model for that. So inside of user, the return will be something like this. So what is it? We're going to export interface auth response, and I don't remember what is actually inside of the user. I do know that we get a token, but we also get whatever else is inside of user. I think I could cheat right now and just do extends partial of user entity, like so. And in here we could give it was it auth response, like so. And token is not assignable to type. Object literal. This may take a little bit of finesse, but once you get the correct oh, right, this is incorrect. Here we go. So this gives back the auth response, and the controller will give back the promise of response object of user, which is the auth response. And now it's correct. And it would be a good idea to add the return types to every method. This way you won't miss the incorrect usage of enveloping that we did when we were first creating this application. Alright, so I added all the return types for all the controllers and services and just went through everything. I have the article controller open right now. I just want to go over one of the return types that's a little new, if you're not super versed in TypeScript, there's going to be this double response object intersection type. We're using an AND here to make sure that the object that we're expecting has both properties for articles and article count. And the count is just a number, and the articles is a article response array, so there's that. Nothing too crazy there. It's just the AND, which might be new. What else is there? And then also in the models, response object is same as before, but then I added an explicit interface type for each response type. The comment response, I had to change this from being explicitly profile response to being a OR of user entity, just because there was like really deeply nested type inference, so TypeScript wasn't able to kind of decipher the two. But that's a little bit of refactoring that you can do, and I think I'm gonna make one more video on Swagger documentation coming up next, so that'll be one more video, and then I think I'm gonna close this little course and see you guys next time. Bye.